Greg Cantaldi, and thank you for joining us for another great installment of Artist Chat. Shall we begin?
Shall we begin?
I'm honored to be joined today with writer, actor, activist, and someone I like to call one of my greatest friends, Aija Mayrock. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for interviewing me. I'm so
Absolutely.
happy.
So you just wrote this book, The Survival Guide to Bullying. This book has just been blowing up in the past year now, right? You've been speaking at schools, and you've been all over the place. You were on The View recently. So just tell us what this experience has been like.
It's been a really exciting and crazy, unexpected journey. So I started writing it when I was 16 years old, and I was in high school, and I had just overcome a lot of bullying, and I wanted to find a way to help the millions of kids all over the world that were still being bullied, but I didn't know how. So I wrote this book, and then no one really was very interested in a book by a 16-year-old girl. But someone gave me some great advice and told me to self-publish it. So I self-published it as an ebook last year in October, and 1 month after, it kind of blew up online. And Scholastic bought my rights for the US and Canada, and then I sold it to 10 foreign countries. And it came out this summer, and I was really lucky because I started working with ABC Studios and Disney Channel on a campaign called Choose Kindness. Because of that, I was on The View. Because of The View, it became a #1 bestseller. And I've been speaking to about maybe 500,000 people in the last few months. It leaves me speechless because I get confronted by hundreds, if not thousands, of kids at these book signings or speaking events at schools or wherever who cry and who tell me how my book has saved their life.
Wow.
And a few years ago, I was that kid, and I didn't know if I would make it through. And I started getting bullied when I was 8 years old in 3rd grade. I was a really creative kid. I loved to write stories and act in plays. But I was different, and I had a lisp. I was a little bit chubby, and I think that sometimes people are afraid of what they don't understand. So I got really badly bullied, and it started in school verbally, socially, physically, and then as I got older, it became really intense cyberbullying and cyberstalking, and it went on for about 8 years. I was able, I think, to survive because of my book and because of writing, and I never dreamed that it would see the light of day, but I was writing because that was the only thing that made me feel better.
So this book, for those who've read it, it's not really a novel per se, but more of a guidebook.
Yes.
You know, it's very user-friendly.
Absolutely.
I feel like, you know, people could skim through, go to sections that like they need help on.
Yeah.
So what was your reasoning of writing the book in this particular way? Because it's kind of like right out of your notebook.
So there were a few things. Have you ever seen Ned's Declassified School Survival?
I have, one of my favorite shows. So.
Okay, so I was watching that when I was being bullied, so shout out to them. And I love that format of kind of a survival guide that any kid could use when they were going through any moment of stress or doubt or sadness. And so I wanted to create that for kids being bullied. And I also knew that sometimes it was hard to kind of sit through dozens of pages of a book and get pieces of information from it, especially when you're feeling really sad and really scared. So I wanted to create a book that you could kind of get kind of nuggets of information from.
And it's fun to read too.
Yeah,
and like
and
you
it's
said,
fun.
yeah, and like Ned's Declassified kind of took like an absurd approach to it. But when you really look at it, I mean, there were survival tips about school. You know,
Exactly.
They did get down to it, and you did learn from it.
Absolutely.
So I think that was a very good idea on your part.
Okay.
So I feel like it's only been in the last 10 years or so where bullying has really come to the surface and people are doing things about it. I really think it was something parents and teachers would kind of write off and think people would outgrow it.
Sure.
So do you think we're doing enough now about bullying, or should we be doing more?
No, I don't think we're doing enough. I think there are so many teen suicides because of bullying that happen almost every week, and although we talk about it a lot, it doesn't mean that we're actually doing anything about it. So there are a lot of really great laws that deal with cyberbullying, but honestly, I think that teachers need to be trained, and all educators need to be trained about what are the signs of bullying, of when a kid is struggling, of how do you step in, because 50% of the time, if anyone intervenes in a bullying situation, that kid being bullied will never be bullied again.
Wow. So writing isn't your only passion. I mentioned before you were a filmmaker, an actress. So what's next for Aija Mayrock? Should we be looking on the shelves for you, on the big screen?
Oh boy.
What's coming up next?
Oh boy. I am writing another book that I hope will be out soon. And I want to continue speaking across the world, I want all of my work to kind of have a similar through line. So I want to do narrative television shows or films, but I want it to all be about social issues. So give a voice to the voiceless and communicate that through exciting, young, energetic content.
So where can people buy this book?
Anywhere,
Amazon?
yeah,
right?
anywhere books are sold. So you can get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any local independent bookstore.
They got it at Strand now, right?
Yeah, anywhere.
Awesome. It's definitely a book for anyone. Even if you're not being bullied, I definitely think it's a good read.
Thank you so
So,
much. Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was great. Any other questions, Alon?
None that I can think of personally.
Okay,
Asia,
cool.
anything else
So
you
we'll
want
do
to
a
talk
nice
about?
little sign off, and I think that's it.
Can I rap for you guys?
Yeah.
Can you rap?
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We fought for these ideals. We shouldn't settle for less. These are wise words. Enterprise and men quote them. Don't act surprised, you guys, because I wrote them. Ow, but Hamilton forgets. His plan would have the government assume states' debts. Now, place your bets as to who that benefits. The very seated government where Hamilton says, not true. Oh, if the shoe fits, wear it. If New York's in debt, why should Virginia bear it? Couldn't breathe.
Very nice. I will now be performing Rapper's Delight by one of my favorite groups, the Sugar Hill Gang.
Go.
And no, I'm good. We don't have enough time for that.